Are we really gonna start off the return of Movie Fridays with this? Afraid so. Welcome back to Movie Fridays. I never thought I'd start this thing off with a B movie, but we're still like at the very near end of Halloween when I'm doing this video right now. Maybe beyond once it's officially released, but still. We're still like at the very near end of Halloween. Halloween is just approaching right now as we speak. And today we jump from an animated movie no one has heard about to a B movie that some have heard about before. You know, one of those sci-fi B movies that happens quite often, that sci-fi likes to pick up the rights for and release, mostly from the Asylum. This is one of those, except when they looked at it, they're just like, oh hell no, we don't want this as our sci-fi B movie. Instead, we want the Sharknado series. That sells everything. That's essentially what Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is. The plot is very simple with this one and easy to follow. A group of scientists band together to save the world from mutant tomatoes that kill. Already, if you read that, you know for a fact that's B-movie schlock right there. It's... How do you even explain B-movie plot lines? Sharknado is easy to review because, well, it's the same thing. Something bad happens, or in the case of the first movie, we never see how the Sharknado happens, but it just happens and it begins attacking. For this one, the Killer Tomatoes is just so interesting. How do they develop a movie like this? How did this even get, like, passage from California to make this movie? It's currently got 3.5 stars right now on Amazon Video, and it is a silly movie, to say the very least. Well, that's all that the sci-fi B movies could say, is that they're all silly. They're very, very, very silly. But one thing we also must take into account is how all of these are rolled out. I mean, the plot is simple. I mean, tomatoes suddenly attack, the police are baffled by this. They get a group to figure out how to stop this attack. And in the process, you got this one agent guy who has this paranoid, sort of kind of still in the mindset of the war, guy who still has his parachute open that follows him everywhere, and he's a bumbling fool. And I don't think I have the words to explain how silly this is. At first, from the way the film begins, it's like we're making fun of the birds. Especially seeing as how that was one of Alfred Hitchcock's movies about killer birds. This B movie has a response of like, what if we take the whole killer inanimate objects or whatever and make that, except with for fruit? What is a vegetable? That's one big mystery we'll never know about. And spoiler alert on this one. If you don't want to hear what happens in the ending, go see it for yourself. It's up on Amazon Video. If you got Prime, you're free to go and watch that on there. Free with $99 a month. Not a month, a year on your subscription. Anyways, what happens during the movie is that he's being chased by a tomato inside an apartment complex and winds up jumping into a boy's apartment. The tomato jumps out the window after hearing a song as they're trying to figure out why he just randomly jumped out. As it turns out, this song that was released called Puberty Love, a very bad song in that film's universe, is their one weakness. As they decide to group everybody up into the baseball field, as the tomatoes come in, and they play Puberty Love right in the background. As that literally wards off the tomatoes, shrinks them down to their normal size and not look like beach balls or whatever. And suddenly, like, everybody in there, half of them are dressed in costumes, nonetheless. Like, one is like half of the Marx Brothers, and there's a mascot or whatever. And they're just going out and squashing these, like, used-to-be killer tomatoes. And the next thing you know, the big head tomato is just, he's immune because... oh, God. I don't know how to explain this movie any further. I mean, it's just worth checking out. It's worth checking out to see just how silly, how interesting it is. I mean, if the thing ever... if the thing ever aired on Sci-Fi, I would totally watch that. Just to see how the audiences react to this. Heck, if there even was a screening for this movie anytime in the future, in theaters, I definitely would love to listen to their reaction to all of it. But for now, since it's a B movie and I can't put it on my scale, which is Jeremy John's scale, by the way, which I use for whatever reason, I think for this one, I'm probably going to use a new system for B movies. And they'll all vary between movies, between every single B movie. So, let's say Sharknado 4 it'll basically have a shark rating right there. So, it'd kind of be free shark out of 10 or whatever. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes would judge this on the tomato scale. So between 1 and 10 on the tomato scale, I'd say 5 tomatoes, just because of how silly it is. But if you're interested in seeing this movie, do check it out. And as I've said, it's available on Amazon through Prime, so if you got Amazon Prime, you're good to go. I don't know if it's available on any other platform. For all I know, it could probably be up on YouTube for free. I don't know. All I know is that it's on Amazon Video right now as I speak. So, with that in mind, hope you enjoyed the return of Movie Fridays. I'll see you guys for the all-new episode of MLP. But also for today, I'm going to be wrapping up the rest of the seasons because I got a lot to catch up on. With that in mind, I'm the Ferb Guy, and I'll see you guys in the very near future for new Movie Friday videos.